Okay, let's do this. See if we can get out a plant tanker tonight. See if we get out a plant. I hope so. Toasty! That's right, toasty! Very toasty.
All right, let's look at...
Yeah, you can go for another hit, which I don't. 4 is very... Like, the execution involved with 4 shots really isn't that bad. Like, the reality is it's way easier to go too fast than too slow. Sounds weird, but true. See, that's the reason why I don't do clockwise bombs. I'm just worse at it. You know? Specifically EF bridge. EF bridge is the problem. I'm not consistent at the roll. Of course, screw up the roll in a different way on the way up the other side because I mess up my input to get the codec. Nice.
I've been
Well,
with the
that's
unit
better
since I was born.
than
I grew up on
having
the
her run
battlefield.
around.
Conflict and victory were my parents. We've shared everything. All the bad... I have no one.
I have no one. Ah! Yeah, playing this on Xbox One's pretty decent. You can't actually play with a DualShock controller on an Xbox. There's ways to do it. There's adapters, but honestly, when I get a Series X, I'm gonna try and play on an Xbox controller and see if I can adjust. Sounds weird given that I've always played this game on a PlayStation pad, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's gonna be that bad. The only weird thing is just getting used to the difference in where the D-pad is. And the triggers are gonna feel different.
Possible hostiles sighted. Send backup.
I'm not really worried about the... No, I have to do that to Olga. I don't wanna talk to her. She's annoying.
Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
I should have... Alright, it looks like I'm ahead, but I just forgot the menu. I'm gonna have to do it on a later roll.
I got him.
When I'm rolling up the stairs, I'm gonna have to menu to the camera.
Huh? It's him. Everyone, stay on guard.
Oh, you're talking about that clockwise. I way prefer the Ed Boy setup.
He got me. Stay on lookout for the intruder.
Understood. Assigning more personnel to the starboard entrance.
Ed Boy, if you're there, that setup you made for non-lethal Fat Man is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Love it.
Arizona Bridge checkpoint passed.
So good.
All non-essential
I mean,
personnel
there is some
report to
precision
hold 10
involved,
minutes
but
time for the scheduled
I think it
briefing
makes
session with
the
Commandant. You are ordered
the
to
thing a
continue
lot
to be
easier to
posted till
do.
that time.
I don't like having to deal with the skating around in the circle. I think it makes the strat really awkward.
Everyone.
And I don't... My whole philosophy in running is trying to make things consistent. And if I can make that more consistent, what is the faster strat, then fine by me. Not bad, not bad. But can we get out of hold 1?
We initiated development of Metal Gear Ray as a countermeasure to these pirated weapons forces. The only thing that can stand up to a Metal Gear is, of course, another Metal Gear.
Nice.
With Ray, the hundreds, if not thousands, of Metal Gears that exist all over the world are no longer
Good meme.
Huh? Huh?
Not intentional, though.
Every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet, so do a number of rogue states. They are all working on deploying
Not bad.
They are all working on deploying their own Metal Gear.
Good.
Forced to compete with the U.S.'s nuclear strike capability. The world is about to see a swarm of these Metal Gear derivatives.
Okay, 18. Not the best, but gets the job done. How I play Metal Gear games the best. That would mean I would have to have a world record in every game.
We, the Marines,
Though I guess it depends on what you define as the best. I try to have good habits, so and that's just from running a lot of different games. The thing is, if you only grind one game, all of your habits and the way you play are kind of revolving around only one game. So if you move to something else, it's gonna feel really weird. It's good to have a holistic approach. There's some genres of speedruns I have not actually run. I think the main one being, like, I've never run a racing game, for instance. Or a precision platformer. Because all the platformers I've run are kind of like sloppy, weirdly controlled platformers. But if you can handle a lot of different things, you can... You have I'd say you'd have a better approach. That doesn't necessarily make you a good player at any one of them, though. Because that just requires work, but it just comes with time and experience. It's just like any other hobby. Keep on doing something, you'll get better at it. It's a precision platformer, like Super Meat Boy, Super Mario Brothers 3, or just like a precision platformer to me, or like Mega Man X. Games that control really well, that have a lot of precise inputs very quickly. So I would consider Super Meat Boy a precision platformer. The levels come very fast, the controls are very good. There's not a whole lot of goofy stuff. It's very execution based. That's a precision platformer. The platformers I have run are weird licensed 3D games that really don't control all that well. Not to say that the platforming can't be precise, but the way the controls are don't really lend themselves to being precise. That's the difference. Precision platformers are a very classic speedrun game, or game genre. Like Celeste. Celeste is a precision platformer, right? That's a precision platformer. You watch how that game plays, and you can tell the game controls very well, and it's difficult to play very well, but the controls give you all the tools you need to play well. You're not fighting the game in any way. Well, thank you. But I'm certainly not the best at this game, which has never been my goal from the get-go. I have never made any goal to be the best at this game. Just another day at the office. Because being the best at this game would require me to really focus only on this game, and it's just not how I operate. I don't have any interest in being the best at this game. I consider the best players at this game to be people who really primarily only play Solid 2 and like VR 2. Like, they're really just like laser focus on this game. And I don't do that. I run a lot of different stuff. So I could be decent at the game. I can be good at the game, just not the best. All right, so I'm gonna focus here because this room is really hard.
Freeze.
It's very easy to mess up your movement here and get a result you don't want. Just hold down from those stairs, you'll roll perfectly. Oh, come on. Coolant rise, please. How is that not it? Oh, that's unfortunate. I lost like 2 seconds at least. Tough room. Almost 3. Looks like I'm really behind, and I am, but the start of my run and my PB was really good. Like, I was only a few seconds behind, like, Limes and Platonic. It's like 5 seconds. So, like, it's okay if I'm behind here, because I have a lot of time saved later on if I play my cards right.
Who's there?
Okay, let's not preempt this codec like I did on Saturday. I know this one is ultimately the better one. After I started cartwheeling straight down, I saved like a second on my strut A. I'm not Platonic guy. I'm another PL person. I always forget. Always, always, always forget. I should just put a sticky note like, don't forget to adjust the MooBot. The reason why I say it's the better one is that I know I can save time on strut A, and there's fewer load zones, so it's better for console, and ultimately I want to have a consistent approach for when I start doing HTC and Substance. By the way, I can 100% get the Substance console record because I will have the best version of the game to run, which is the Xbox version. Sounds weird, but it's true because the timing method's different. So you can cheese your way to PBs. Because it counts the IGT like on EC where it subtracts loads. Apparently. That's the word at least. console is for nerds. PC is definitely superior. I suggest everyone to run on PC, not console. Console's a headache. It's less of a headache in this game than Solid 3, though. I don't know. This route's just stylish. Who doesn't like to style?
Who's there?
E-Man came up with that position, and then the laser thing is just my own invention because it really helps with the positioning.
Who is that? It's the enemy.
I really don't like this room. It's one of my least favorite rooms. Who's there?
Who's there? Who's that? Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
Consoles for people who want easier world records. Actually, there are other difficulties on PC that have easy records. It's just that people don't do them. I'd like to go back to normal. Very easy as a vortex, though. That's why when I get like a good PC VE time, I'll be very happy because I don't have to touch this ever again, essentially.
Who is that? It's the enemy. I need help.
Understood. Backup squad headed to the...
So I didn't cartwheel. I love the voice acting in the English version. Oh man, I gotta get a low... Oh, come on! What, you don't... My Sum of Best says I can get a 101. I can save like 20 seconds on my run. At least. I have gotten multiple 102s, it's true. This is like the last real big push for me on PC. Once playoffs are done, I'm moving on. Well, I guess when I get a Series X, I'll do a VE run there, but... The glasses are funny. But we all know that the real champ is MGSR champ. Isn't that right, folks? We got the monkey champ. True champions do MGSR champ. Thank you for supporting this community channel. Yeah, it looks like he has like a double chin or something. Ooh, the plywood champ. The plywood special. Hopefully this run is not plywood, not like this. I could really use a nice PB. Please shoot the barrel. We want her to shoot the barrel, because this will speed up the end of this fight. Okay, good. Nice shot. Okay. What do I think of Johnny? Johnny's funny, I guess? I don't really have a strong opinion about Johnny. Our last 0.7, that's fine. Hopefully I don't get blown up here. Nice. Good movement. Saved a lot of time there for some reason. All right, don't be antsy with Fat Man. It's your first mistake is being antsy with your movement, or your inputs rather. Try to be a bit more judicious, selective with my cartwheels. Do the ones that actually really save time and save the ones that are really like really for others. Losing a second is really bad. Oh, I was not in position. That's unfortunate. Oh, that was goofy. And I'm getting slow bombs. Well, could have been worse. I still saved time over my other run, but a little janky at the end there. Yo, Rykov is cool dude. Do I like Johnny's bathroom comments? I can relate to them. I can relate to the bathroom comments. I think everyone's been there at some point. It's human. It's relatable. Maybe not with the Russian rations part, but... As we all know, on very easy, you don't actually have to go to Strut F to pick up the AK. You can, but it's slower. So we're going straight to Shell 1 core. If it was like this on other difficulties, this would be a massive time save, but it's only on very easy that the AK is in here.
Got a minute, Jack?
Oh. Not on turbo. That was really bad. Well, I'm gonna lose like a second there. Again, it might look really bad that I'm losing this time. But again, I have a ton of time saved near the end of my run.
Yo, what are you doing?
Just wish I had turbo on, because I thought I did. And I was just like, Brain fart. So this strat is not actually the fastest strat, but it's the most consistently fast strat. Because it keeps the door open. And dealing with elevator RNG is really not worth dealing with. So. Also, I just find this a lot easier. Like, there's a bit of a learning curve with this strat, but I think it's easier, personally, than the alternative strategy. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure... Oh, what is this? That still worked. That's a different setup. You're not supposed to do two punches there. But it worked, so can't complain. Alright, pause buffering. I got the old lady spawn. There he is.
Your aims, aren't you?
That's essentially the same spawn, according to my splits.
King.
It is doable. This game is how should I put this? This game is both easy and hard to learn. And I feel like people who are really good at this game would probably agree with me. Like, very easy, specifically. It's pretty simple, but there's a lot of depth to the movement in this game, and there's a lot you have to learn about when it comes to the boss fights, and there's a lot of complexity, even with the simplicity. I am screwing that up recently. I need to practice that. Big time loss. Falling. 3 seconds almost. It's just, I was a little bit too late. Screwed that up on Saturday, so I probably should take a look at that again. I go up left at the shadow there. That's my cue. You can do it a little bit earlier, but there's a claymore that you have to avoid. I don't know if I like that claymore. I feel like it'd be better, or that cartwheel. That claymore. I feel like it'd be better to just turn well. You could also use turbo for aerials, the rolls. It's good to know how to time your rolls as well. You just have to pay attention to the animation that Raiden does. We did it. Is that too little damage? I'm a little bit concerned. I didn't mean to hit that part of the wing. This is probably going to be slow. Or not! Okay! Ugh, that was scary. I will answer questions in a bit. I'm going to just make sure I don't fail here. I really didn't want to mess that up, because otherwise I'd be in big trouble. Nah. That was scary. Go, go, go! Go, platonic guy. Get your world record back. Show them who's boss. You may not be consistent in your races, but golly, are you a good player. Just for saying that, I'm gonna lose to platonic guy on Saturday.
Back up.
Eliminate the target.
I should learn the B-man setup for that. The D-pad. Reverse psychology. So I was saying this, I don't remember who I was saying this before my race against Platonic Guy, but Platonic Guy has a bit of a curse against me as well, because I have won 2 races against him that I probably should have lost, One was extreme, and he died. He had Snake die twice during Tengu 2, and then the very easy race, he just choked hard at Vamp. And clearly people need to know the SOCOM backup for Vamp. Because if he just, like, auto-aimed to Vamp, let go of R1, and fired at Vamp, Vamp would have died. But he used Stinger instead. So, people gotta know your backups. Even people who are the best don't know the backups. They get, like... I mean, I totally get why Platonic or anyone in that situation would get frazzled. You have to think, what's my solution now? Rather than getting frazzled. Don't lose to me. You don't want to lose to me. The 2 shots still work, though. Oddly enough. Nah. I tried. Alright, time for Cold Drinks D-pad. Just give me a few minutes because, like, you can stream from a 360, but for me to actually go through the process of explaining that, I'm not ready for that yet, so you're just gonna have to wait. But short answer, yes, you can stream from a 360. You can stream from any game console, for the most part. That was a bad turn. Hold up left before the cartwheel ends. Okay. So you like cartwheel towards the gap and just hold up left? That sounds simple. This is card 4. Hold select here and get that first frame codec. You know what was one of the most overwhelming things when I started learning this game in 2017 was the codecs, because there's so many of them. But after you've run this game enough, you just know offhand, like, oh, this codec's coming up, this codec's coming up. But when you start, it's like, man, there's so many codecs. It's hard to remember all of them. So that can be frustrating when you're learning this game. Oddly enough, it's the same thing in Metal Gear Solid Mobile. There's a lot of codecs in that game as well. Alright, here we go. What the... Oh, no. That's bad. Because I had stopped angling. Not great. I mean, if I didn't slow down on the wall, for some reason I was like, oh, I could just hold circle and not change direction. That was a bad idea. So yeah, I lost time. Only 3 seconds, but I did lose time. I think I could still PB though. Again, that's how much time I lost in my end game. No, you could, if you want to stream from a game console, the best way to stream from a game console is not to use the streaming service that's in the game console, it's getting a capture card. That's what I suggest, but that costs money. I actually have no idea if you can stream 360 games from an Xbox One with their capture dealio. I've never tried. At one point, I did stream PS4 games from the PS4 before I had a capture card, but capture cards provide you the greatest amount of versatility and options. Having to go through their services is not ideal. Though I think Xbox has improved some of that. HTC in particular doesn't allow it on Xbox. Well, there you go. So I really don't know much about it because the last Xbox console that I purchased was a 360. But I will be getting a Series X because I'm a hipster. I really hope they keep on adding backwards compatibility titles. Don't quote you on that. Yeah, I mean, the short and narrow of it is that the best way to capture games is not to use services, though I think they might be improving them for the new consoles. Of course, Microsoft bailed on Mixer. They just thought it wasn't worth it. I feel like if they just stuck out with Mixer and, like, you know, with the new Xbox and, like, you know, maybe people would use the service because it'd be, like, integrated into the machine, but they didn't want to, they dropped it, so. But that seems like a good idea to me, you know? It's like, oh, well, we have this console, we can integrate our streaming service into it, but we want to drop her just at that line. If you cross that line, she's gonna run away. She loses a few seconds. It's not that bad, but it is annoying. So yeah, 17. Again, seems like a lot, but just wait until I get to Jijinum. I was like minus 20 at this point in the run, I think. Something silly like that. Minus 30, I don't even remember. A very unfortunate run. The optimizations and strategies when it comes to dealing with them have come a long way. Like, we used to do like fast handholds and stuff, but it's just gone to a completely, oh, is that gonna work? Okay, that was really close in my mind. Like, I used to grab her hand fast from the side there, but it's actually faster to bump her forward than do a fast hand grab. No, I think, I honestly do believe that some stuff is designed with speedrunning in mind in this series. It sounds weird to say, but, like, the way they design cycles, typically speaking, you can just barely make it if you know what you're doing. So if you're very aggressive in your movement, you can make it. Thanks for the bit, Judge. That juicy bit. Thank you for supporting MGSR. I don't want to hold your hand right now. Or it could just be a series of coincidences as far as things just being barely possible. Could be that too. Some things are just, we exploit game systems in such a way that things that shouldn't be possible are possible in this community. Other times, though, it's like, they give you enough room to work with. The designers, that is. I don't have time for you. You don't actually have to address these this early, but just like getting it out of the way as soon as possible so I don't forget. Some of it's probably coincidences, some of it might be intended, because you have to think from the perspective of people who are testing a game and playing a game before release. They're obviously not, I mean, they're testing everything, but a good designer will allow for very high level play within their design. And stealth games allow for this definitely because of how, you know, managing guard patterns and how you approach certain situations and the tools you have in your toolbox. But that's only on one level. When it comes to speedrunning and 20 years of development and looking at a game like this game, you start getting into really weird territory where you're pushing things to their limit and abusing mechanics and weapons that they probably didn't think about. This is definitely the case in games like Solid 1 and Solid 3. Not so much in Solid 2. But Solid 1 has some really exploitable things with like animation canceling and of course the 80% category. And then Solid 3, the way the movement works is just the weird interactions between certain items and enemies is just ripe for abuse. I think the best example of this from Solid 2 is probably that if you equip a box, the guard will run away from you and call it in rather than shoot you if you equip it at a certain time. Which is a very strange interaction. Like, I don't really understand why that interaction exists. If that was some sort of oversight or actually programmed in for some reason. I'd imagine it's an oversight, though. It's a good question. Since we have a minute here, you are watching Metal Gear Speedrunners, the premier place for Metal Gear speedrun content. I stream on this channel every Monday evening, sometimes a little bit earlier than this, sometimes a bit later. Well, hopefully not too much later. So if you're interested in this sort of stuff and you aren't already, please drop it a follow. This channel, there's a lot of different people running games on this channel of different vintages and styles. All kinds of games from the series on here. You don't discriminate when it comes to that. Just last week I was running Metal Gear Solid Mobile on the Nokia phone, which was a real hoot, got world record, and Jaguar King recently improved that world record on his stream, so big shout outs to Jag on that. Always nice to see improvements. When it comes to a run, I'm definitely going to try to beat his time. So I know it's possible. Alright, let's get ready for a blink it and you miss it fight. I had to scroll back. I needed to tap like once. I tapped like twice. Ugh, my headphone cable is like Way too loose right now. All right. So like other difficulties, the panels respawn here. It's supposed to be that the panels there disappear. If you play like any other difficulty, you'll have to deal with them however they were oriented when you leave Shell 1. But on VE, you don't care. Yeah, the turbo there is literally just to save ammo. It'll work every time. It's kind of counterintuitive. You'd think like using turbo on a gun would make it fire faster, but with a fully automatic gun, you initiate the shot every time, folks. So it's tap, 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 rather than da-da-da-da-da-da. Hopefully that clarifies it a little bit. So with the AK, it's a little bit easier actually to fire fewer shots because of that.
High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered your memory too?
Alright, so this is where we're going to be able to save a lot of time. It's basically all in Arsenal. And if we're going to have any hope of PBing, this is where it's going to come into play. Obviously, I would like to be ahead at this point, but
Olga, you can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen,
we can manage.
I'll free you in a little while. Brace yourself.
Oof. Honestly, if I had this pace in a race, I'd be fairly happy, but probably wouldn't be a good enough pace to beat like Limes or Platonic if he wasn't being goofy. Or B-Man. B-Man is scary consistent. I could get to that point though. It's just, it takes a little bit more time. I get distracted easily.
Is there somebody there?
Nice. Codex. Alright, we cleared the gap. This is going to save a lot of time, because I failed the gap in my PB. Yep, so 11-second save. Some goofy stuff happened there. Very bad. It was so bad that I was like, I need to workshop this room really badly. So I was sick of losing my lunch there, so to speak. Once you see that message, destroy the final weapon, Metal Gear, just hold select and you'll get the Rose Call immediately. Alright, here's a weird thought. What if that cutscene before Snake shows up fades out more quickly if you are prone or something weird like that? I'm literally just trying to think of anything, absolutely anything you could just save time on that none of us could really consider, because there are certain cutscenes where if you're standing or prone, it will load, like you'll get into a load zone more quickly. It's specifically with elevators. Like if you're standing, this is actually the same thing in Solid 1, oddly enough. If you're standing on the elevator at the very start of the game, you will go into the loading trigger more quickly than if you were prone. So you don't want to be spinning on the ground in the elevator in the docks, for instance. This area is very scary. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna give it a go, even though part of me is like, this is weird, but apparently it's better. See, the pacing is wrong. I can get back into it, but I think it was really my position was bad on my aim. You have to do it very quickly. This is now looking better though. I'm not getting the whiteout very quickly though. Unless it's just not happening. Didn't happen. Well, I saved time.
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot
Okay.
discovered the S3 data from GW.
There you go.
Not a bad idea, though.
But do I have 6
Using
seconds of
fire to
time
fight
save on
fire,
Solidus?
Creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's
Not
brother.
sure.
S3 stands
Yeah.
for Solid Snake.
I still feel like we still don't really understand Tengu 2. It was only recently that Major Zero was like, are you guys sure that Turbo is bad for that fight?
When Foxhound no longer
Like, I
exists,
don't know, we think it is. That fight has gone through so many variants. So, just to do a little bit of a history lesson,
to one of the Patriots' puppets. But I've
when
made
people
use
started
of
really
it,
taking normal
and their
seriously,
plan,
we started like
Solid Snake's sudden appearance,
using
your
stingers.
arrival.
I
It
started
was
using
obvious the
stingers
Patriots were among
when they
my
were
ranks.
on the
I had to smoke out the
bottom
agent before the
platform
mission
where you're
entered the
where you're
final
at.
phase.
So I would
You
go
came in handy,
to
as
like
bait.
the corner of the circle and just keep on firing as they drop down.
Those days during the
And now
Civil
these
War
days
were
we
as real as
actually
they come.
fire up above while
Every
they're
day was
spawning
absolute.
in.
Split between life
Makes a
and
lot
death.
of sense.
You ran
But
from
it's gone
it,
through a lot
and
of
now you've been led back to war by something
adjustments and
less than
variants. Oh no, I lost point 1.
Are you awake yet, Jack?
Do I have 7 seconds on Solidus?
GW, the Arsenal AI is corrupted
I don't
beyond
know.
repair. I admit that I
There's only 11
underestimated
seconds on Degenum. The bridge too far.
I'll squeeze the answers out of you instead, my
A
son.
lot of it was just weird stuff. Nothing too... There wasn't like... I mean, the Fat Man fight could have been better by several seconds. Well, it was just weird stuff.
What do you hope to hear? You know
But this is looking to be still a
It's
102.
not him I want the answers from.
So that's nice. Even with everything weird that happened, it was still a 102. So. We're just gonna have to play Solidus perfectly. Easy. Just get the perfect fight. Hopefully get the parries. Gotta go for them. Gotta believe in your Solidus play.
Take this.
Yep. I, for some reason, thought I could do that. Best game series of all time. I mean, I do like them.
Jack, this is where it gets interesting.
Believe it or not.
Let's go. Over here. Take this. Over here.
remember this place?
Of course. This is where we first met. I remember now.
Whoa.
Today is the
Whoa.
day I met you.
Ooh.
That's it.
Minus 0.6. Minus 0.6. Wow. That is ridiculous. So I might have cleared a second. It's hard to say because, again, it depends on the fraction. I don't know what my fraction was in my PB.
What?
If it was a low 48, then I get a 47.
Are you talking about the baby?
I got a 1 second PB.
The genes aren't the only
With a
thing
run
that
where
makes
I
it.
was
There are
plus
2 other things that aren't written into our
18.8
DNA.
going
It's up to
into
us to
Arsenal.
teach that to our children.
What kind
So I was
of
nearly
things?
20 seconds
Our
behind.
environment, our ideas, our culture,
Essentially in the red the whole run.
poetry, compassion.
Look at how tight the
Sorrow,
margins are, though, at this
joy.
point.
We'll
When you
tell
really
them
think about
everything
it.
Together.
Is that a proposal?
In the
This is
102s.
for your ears.
Plus 18, that really doesn't sound like much, but it is when it comes to this game, this category. Very easy. Plus 18 is a lot. So I saved 19 seconds just in my end game. That's why I held out. Even though I was behind, I held out because I knew my end game was very sloppy in my PB. If my swim glitch was better than just swim glitch alone, if I didn't have that shakiness at the start, it would have been totally on. Totally on. So not bad. Let me turn the song off. Though I have never actually gotten, I've never been, copyright stricken, golf stroke, for Can't Say Goodbye to Yesterday, so. Not something that's ever happened to me. So yeah, chat, how you feeling? We're gonna do another run after this as well. After I take a quick break. Hopefully we can get a PB here. I think it's possible. I'm going to stretch a little bit. I suggest you do as well, since we have a few minutes to wait here during the credits as we wait for our results. So I suggest everyone get their stretch on, walk a little bit, get the blood flowing. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. What's your strategy for when we meet in the league final play? You Kappa, but it's possible. It's possible. Limes had his worst game against me. But that was one game. It's not like oh, that means he's going to play badly. No voodoo stuff, you know? Okay. Let's fix this. Likely. You think it's likely that I'm going to beat D-Limes? That's, you put a lot of faith in me. Hey, let's work on a platonic guy first, okay? I have to rematch platonic guy again. And this time I can't imagine he's going to have the shaky vamp. I had a really shaky game because I hadn't really. I was practicing, but I didn't do a full run. It was just like strange stuff I did with my movement, and like at one point I pressed circle to interact with the elevator. I'm like, this isn't Japanese. What am I doing? You know, just weird stuff happened in that run for me. Also had an audio glitch. Just go hella fast. It's true. If I just do everything very well, then it's doable. The only room that like really stresses me out is like Holt 1. I need to. The thing is if like you or Limes get 102.30, I have to play out of my mind. I have to get a PB to best, which is a bit intimidating. I didn't look at what you and Limes, because I think you and Limes have probably the best averages out of everyone. Because I think both of you have 102 averages in the league. Or at worst, a low 3. This was a no reset, so that was a good indication, but it just kind of worked out that way. Okay, well, did we get a PB or not? We did. Oh, wow. The 1 second. The old 1 second. Another PB in the bag. Heck yeah. That's great. That's why you stick to it. Stick to itness.